Hi and welcome in the 21st episode on Definitely Noah channel, and in today's episode we're going to go over while loop. A while loop is a special structure in Python which allows you to loop through a block of code multiple times for as long as the condition you give it is true. So for example, we could have a condition while an integer is lower or equal than a number 20, we're going to continue on and execute the block of code which is inside of our while loop. So to start with, I'm going to create an integer, I'm going to call it I, and I'm going to apply a value of 0 to it, and now we're actually going to create a while loop. So to do that, you simply have to type while, and then you have to specify your condition. In our case, for the demonstration, I'm going to do while I is lower or equal to 20. And then after the condition, you have to put a colon. The entire block of code which is inside of a while loop has to be indented, just like when creating functions or if statements. So as the first command in our while loop, I'm going to simply print out the current amount of I. So I'm going to print out I, and then on the second line, and then on the next line, I'm going to actually increase the value of I. So I'm going to write I equals I plus 2. But I'm actually going to shorten that. In Python, there is a method to do this in an easier way, and you're going to see that method happen a lot with Python programmers and everyone who works with Python pretty much. And that is to, instead of writing I equals I plus, you can simply do I plus equals, and it's going to give you the same result. So I plus equals 2 is simply going to add 2 to our I. And now, not indented after the loop, outside of the code which is inside of our loop, I'm going to simply print out we're out of the loop. And if I start the program now, it's going to print out our values, and then at the end it's going to print out we're out of the loop. And why is that? How the while loop actually works is, the first thing it does is checking the condition. And if that condition is true, and in our case it is, because we set our I to be 0, and so our I is lower or equal to 20. If that condition is true, we're going to proceed with the block of code inside of the loop. So the first comment, we're printing out number, which is 0 at the beginning, and then we actually increase the value of I, and now our I is equal to 2. So then the loop goes back to the very beginning again, and it's checking the condition again. So now our I is equal to 2, and it's still lower or equal to 20, and that's why the code is going to iterate over again. And that's going to keep happening until, as you can see here, our value was 20, and then it was increased by 2, which means our I reached 22, and it was no longer lower or equal to 20. That's why the code went out of our loop and printed out this statement, we're out of the loop. And yeah, that's it. See ya.